Right. So my name is Kristin MacRae. I have an organizing and efficiency business. I started the business in Rhode Island in 2012 with the goal of teaching my clients to get organized, saving them time and money, helping them decrease their stress levels, and helping them become more efficient and productive. And then in 2019, we moved to Georgia, and the business kind of fizzled out. I wanted to focus on working full time because I didn't have a clientele built up yet, and I knew that wasn't our forever home. So in 2022, last February, we moved here to Bonita Springs, Florida, the Naples area. And we've been here almost a year, and I decided I wanted to start my business full time again because I really missed it. I don't enjoy working for other people. It just, once you work for yourself, it's just not the same when you go and work for somebody else. So last month I decided to start it up full time again. And I'm trying to get clients in the Naples, Bonita Springs area. And I also work virtually with clients also. And I just enjoy what I do. I love helping people get organized, saving them time and money, decreasing their stress levels, and helping them become more efficient and productive.
Right. Yeah. What did you do prior?
So I had a lot of jobs prior. So my degree's in retail management, and I was a manager in retail for a long time. Then I went into the medical field I started out as a medical secretary. Then I moved up to billing manager, assistant practice manager. And in all these different offices, I found that there was a theme. They were all disorganized, and nobody had systems in place. So I would go in, get systems set up, help the team become more efficient and productive, and recoup a lot of money in the billing office that they had missed or because of these systems weren't in place. And then I became like a personal trainer. I was a dancer for 30 years, so that brought me into personal training. But every field I was in, there was always like disorganization or no system set up. And I could just see the inefficiencies in the office. And I'm like, things could be so much better if we just got you organized. And then I said in 2012, I'm like, you know what? I need to start my own business. There's a need for this, and I'm going to start my own business. And I just like hit the ground running. And I was super successful. I was one of the top organizers in Rhode Island.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
How are you targeting more individual or business, or both?
It's both. So it's a good because I can supplement with either. So in clients' homes, I help them physically get organized. And then in businesses, I help them physically get organized. But then we take it that step further and work on email management, calendar management. Because even in your home, people think, all right, I'm organized, fine, that's it, I'm done. But
do you do it by sessions, or it's just a one-time, or how does it work?
So sometimes it's just a one-off, like they need a new closet organized or the kitchen organized, but then they'll have me back to do another room. So I work in 3-hour increments because any more than 3 hours, people are like, oh, we'll work all day. And I'm like, no, you'll burn out after 3 because I'm literally holding you to that room for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So we work for 3 hours, and then they might say, all right, come back and do my kitchen. So it might be one-off projects, but in businesses, I want to get you, people want in business, they say, I need to find more time in my day. I need to get systems set up. But they're working in chaos and disorganization. So they don't realize that they physically have to get organized first, because you can't work on time management if you have clutter or piles of paper or disorganization. It's like a package deal for businesses. Even in homes, it could be a package deal also. Again, it's either the one-off, I have packages, because I don't want to stop after 3 hours with you if you still want to work on your time management. So I'll work on 6 months, a year, because it's truly a lifestyle change. Yeah. Think of it like if you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to start a new workout regimen, you don't stop after you lose 3 pounds, right? You keep going, and you want to maintain and continue on. So that's where it's just not like usually a one-off. It's usually I work with my clients 6 months, a year.
It's interesting what you're saying, because when we were in the food industry, I will always talk about a system, right? And people will be like, what do you mean like a system? But there's a system behind every business. Usually it's not seen by the client, but if the business is flowing smooth, it's because the system is mastered. So now that you're saying that, that's really
100%. And if you ever notice any businesses that you walk into, or even homes that you walk into where it's chaotic, like there's no system. Because and it's just getting people to understand that, listen, it doesn't have to be like this. This is a stressor that can be controlled. It's just learning a skill set. That's all it is, right? So it's just a matter of getting them to realize that they need the help, and that how much better their lives can be once they're organized and have those good systems in place. Because I'm sure you've been in restaurants that are chaotic and
and sticking to the system.
Yeah, impossible to grow. I think it's impossible to grow in any business if you don't have a system behind. Especially when you start getting employees and your team starts growing, You need to have a system. You need to have a platform in order for them to be able to execute the same way. That unless you want to be there the whole time,
Right.
You know.
Right.
This is very interesting. So do you, when you are looking for future clients,
Mm-hmm.
what's that process look like? Is it cold calling? Is it, how does that work?
So that's the tough thing because, and just to get back to your systems for a second, I thought of something when you were saying that. It's so funny because when you have those systems in place, it's such a work in progress because you don't make the system and then you're like, oh, we're great now, because it's such a learning curve of, all right, that didn't work, I need to tweak it to make it work better.
Right.
But when that system fails, a lot of times people are like, oh, it failed, we're done, like we're going to give up. But it's so important to keep tweaking that system to make it work better. The challenge was when I first started my business in Rhode Island almost 11 years ago was, where are my clients? Like, I don't know where disorganized people are. Like, it could be anybody, right? I can't target like one area. So what I started doing was I wrote a weekly column for 6 years for a media company. I was on their live show. I gave presentations. Wherever I could be, I had a CD. I had a little podcast. Like, wherever I could be, I was. And then the people just came to me after that. Like, I'd give a presentation and get clients from that, or I'd be on the Go Local platform and they would, see my show and then they'd come to me, or I'd write an article and they'd come to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so hard when you don't know where your disorganized people are.
Right.
So it's just, I try to be everywhere and whoever gets attracted to me will come.
Put stories and they show their house and stuff so you can see, oh, this person needs me.
Yeah. Let me reach out.
There's a lot of
in the
mess here, so not a friend.
Yeah. But I really do help. I enjoy helping people when it comes to, finding more time in their day, like mastering their to-do list and helping them become more efficient and productive. So just not that physical organization, because that's the basis of it. Even in your restaurant, like you had to have your physical system set up, but then you had to work on, all right, what's the flow to that now?
I think that experience helped so much on this one, because everything feels like it flows right from one computer to the other, and it's just so essential for a business. Now, so you talk about time and you try to make time for other people. How about you? Do you feel like you have enough time for you? Because sometimes when the people that do things for others, sometimes they don't have the time for themselves.
No, luckily my husband and I are both very organized and we have really good systems in place in the house. We run very efficiently, and I make the time. And when you are organized and you have good systems in your house too, everything kind of falls into place just like a business would. So we always make time and make sure, I have certain things I handle in the house. He has certain things. We make a good team of how we work well together in the house, just like a business. And one other thing I want to say about the stress of being disorganized too, think of when you're disorganized and a fire comes at you and you need to find something. The disorganized person is going to take them in half an hour to find something, and then they find it and now they're stressed out and it takes them a long time to get back to that rhythm of work. But the organized person will find what they're looking for, go about their day unscathed. So now you've got a ball of stress in that disorganized person for no reason because they couldn't find something, and the organized person finds that. And
how does it look? How does this? Have you thought about how does the scale side look to this business? The business that you're in, how do you go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4? And within the company, is that something?
You mean client wise or?
No, employee wise.
Oh, employee wise. So in Rhode Island, I was my own person. I did everything. I did my marketing. I'm really people how did you do it all? Because when you're organized and have a system in place, it works. Yeah. So I want to keep the business myself. Okay. I want to represent my brand because I'm the person working with you, and I want to stay true to my brand and be that face and know that when you're working with me, you're hiring me, you're getting my skills and my talent. So I like to keep it, and I did it for 8 years in Rhode Island, so it worked well. But but people are how do you do all of it? I'm like, listen, when you're organized, you can.
Right. And you don't have to deal with
employees. I don't have to deal with payroll, and everything. Well, you guys know everything that comes with the business. I don't have to deal. I don't want to deal with any of that. Right. I just want to be responsible for myself. I write my own articles. I give my own presentations, and I have a process for everything.
Right. Yes.
So.
And in certain industries right now, it's just difficult.
Yes. it's difficult
To
to
find
find
anybody,
help.
right?
Yeah, not only good help, but any help.
Right.
And also, it's more important, I think, more than being organized, is to learn how to manage your time. So I think like that's more important, because you can be very organized, but if you don't know how to manage your time and you're too a perfectionist, and you spend an hour doing something when it can take you 10 minutes, you're wasting time for the next task.
Exactly.
So
You're so right.
Very important too. Time management is key.
Yes, I used to work with clients, and some of them were perfectionists. Efficiency. And some of them my clients were perfectionists, and we'd be sitting, and like 15 minutes would go by, they couldn't make a decision.
Yeah.
Like, listen, we got to move on.
No time
like
for that.
there's no time. Yeah, let's.
That's so funny. That just reminded me.
Yeah. It's almost like, let's put this aside for a minute. You can think about it later, and let's keep moving.
You had perfection clients.
Yeah, and they, a lot of people will say, "Oh, Kristin, you're OCD." No, this is not OCD. It's just a matter of being organized and efficient. It has nothing to do with being OCD. But I have a lot of clients that are OCD, and what happens is they're not organized. Even though they're OCD, they can't get out of their own way because they're so focused on it has to be done right. It has to be the right time. It has to be, so they procrastinate because it's never the right time for them to do it. So they get stressed out, overwhelmed, and they shut down and nothing gets done.
Yeah, they focus so much on that and they don't pay attention to the rest, and then the whole iceberg comes.
They can't move forward. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's also good to go with the times. Like technology, and there's so many things that make life a lot easier today than doing things the old school way. Right.
And I still have, personally, I use a paper calendar. I use anything I can use paper, I use it, because computer calendars don't work well for me. To-do lists on the computer don't work well for me. But that's the great thing about working with clients. It's all how they want to function, not how I function. So the system's set up according. It's a whole conversation we have before I even help you get organized, because you might work well with paper or electronics, but I work well with paper. But it doesn't matter what I like.
Oh, no, I'm nothing without my agenda.
Yeah.
I lose my agenda and I'm done.
Exactly. So everybody functions differently, but we can get you organized based on how you function. So it's not necessarily because people are like, oh, you're going to come in and make all these changes to my life. No, we're just going to create a system to how you function.
How do you handle for example, clients that take a long time to make a decision, for example? Because that's now that I'm thinking, that's part of being organized too, right?
Yeah.
Even in taking your decisions, you have to be organized.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you're wasting other people's time or your time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So in the sense of getting physically organized when they're making decisions during that process, or getting organized?
I mean, I've seen people even looking at a menu when they go to a restaurant, and it seems like it feels like they're about to buy a house. No. It feels like they're about to buy a house, but it's just a sandwich.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in your industry, how do you handle that? Because I'm sure that you go and try to get everybody organized, but we have to start with the person first, maybe.
Yeah. So I always have my clients do a brain dump. So before we even get started, what's the most stressful area in your business? What's the most stressful area in your home? And I make them do a brain dump and just journal it, write it all out. And that's the first step, because they have a lot of mental clutter because there's so much going on. They can't release that mental clutter. So that's the first step we do and then from there we're going to look at what they wrote down and break that process down and pick out the main points. So if they're looking at a menu, they could say, well, there's too many things on the menu. I can't decide. So I'm just going to take an hour to figure out what I want. But they're really not deciding. They're just so overwhelmed. They're thinking about 10 other things, and I'm thinking about the menu now. So it's a matter of breaking that process down and then saying for the menu, saying, well, are you in the mood for Italian? Are you in the mood for a sandwich? Are you in the mood for pasta? And then breaking that down. And then they'll say, oh, well, I think I want pasta. Okay, well, do you want fettuccine? Do you want Alfredo? Like, you have to just keep breaking it down that way. And then, do you want red sauce? Do you want white sauce? So when you break it down like that, it makes it easier for them to decide. With the restaurant ones, you would appreciate this. I found one of your, the deposit bag full of 2 days worth of money.
Which is the reason why some restaurants and like cafes, they're doing cashless operations.
Yeah.
Because they just want to make sure that they just focus on the product and the service, and it's a transition also,
Yeah.
But I agree. I think that's where everything is going. And it's another way to get organized,
Yes. Yeah.
So, one more thing not to handle.
Yeah. But there's tons of, if you're disorganized, there's going to be cash gift cards, cash, checks. I was in a client's home once. We organized her closet. She forgot about, she had like money saved for Disney, and it was a lot of money, and she forgot about it. And we found out organizing her closet. She's like, we thought we lost this money. Like, you'll find, because you don't remember, when you're disorganized, things just get thrown places. You don't remember where you put them. And so if you want to, especially with inflation today and everything going on with the economy, like if you're looking to save money, you need to get organized, because you'll save a ton of money.
I love businesses that you don't have to, that they don't have so many points to make money. You know, like it's just 1-2 points and then total. You know, I don't know if you know what I mean, but like
no,
there's so, like, for example, in the food industry or construction, or you need so many things before you see your profits.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So yeah, even like collecting sales tax, for example, it's almost like, okay, you're paying already taxes at the end of the year if you're not investing or you're not spending money. But now I have to work for you also to collect taxes from people and send it to you, and it's reports and everything.
Yeah.
So it's a whole bunch of things that now the way I see business is like, okay, we're getting into something new. Okay, let's just make sure that it doesn't carry all these things, you know.
Right, so, exactly.
So I'm trying to be organized.
Good.
What do you think about having a space here to be able to tell your story and to share information? When we started this business, we thought about clients or consumers and business owners, and we think that business owners don't have enough time to share their story or like tell what's behind the scenes in any business, and we hear enough about consumers. So, and for example, in our business, we're behind different companies, and we see so many things from consumers, right, to the business owner, but the business owner barely has a say, right, on things. Yeah. So what do you think about, you know, having an opportunity to be able to share your story? And
I think that's great. Any opportunity to get out there, right, for exposure is good.
There is enough negativity in life when it comes to like the news. Like, I don't watch any news. I'd rather be not informed than misinformed, you know. So and everything you see is just negative. So we're trying to bring a little bit of positivity, you know, when it comes to like have fun and meet new people. And it's so important in business to keep meeting people, you know. It's like,
definitely, I'm all about networking and
especially in our industries, you know, your industry, our industry, networking is so important.
It is very important, 100%.
Do you want? So let's finish off with the last question. Okay. What drives you the most to do what you do in business and in your everyday life? What's that driving factor for you? I
just have a passion for what I do, and I just want to do it well and just feel like I accomplished something. I think it's the accomplishment that I did something well, and that, you know, I could do this. Like, especially when I built my business back in 2012, I refused to fail. And I feel like I have that hustle and energy just to like keep going. Nothing will stop me. Like, if I have a bad day, I think about all the good things that happen, or the phone calls I got that day about presentations or whatever, and you just keep moving forward. You can't have anything like drag you down. You got to keep moving forward.
I love that. Yeah. Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, guys. Thank you.